Hey love, I'm Gina. I'm a fitness and nutrition coach who helps women find relief from food obsession, body shame, and perfectionism so they can feel calm, confident, and strong without obsession. If you're exhausted from overthinking food, afraid of weight gain, or stuck trying to do everything right but still never feeling enough, you're in the right place. I know this terrain deeply. I've lived through restriction, treatment, binging, rebuilding, and the identity loss that comes with letting go of control. And now I help women stop punishing themselves, rebuild trust with their bodies, and create strength and health that actually feels sustainable. This is a space where healing and body goals get to coexist, where fitness doesn't cost you your peace, and where you don't have to do this alone. Take a breath. You're safe here. This is the Fit Without Obsession podcast. So I'm actually going to go a little bit different with today's podcast episode, and I'm really excited to have this conversation because it's really needed. And honestly, usually I come in with a little bit of a game plan when I record these, but today, I'm just going to speak as it comes. And I feel like the one thing that I really want to dive into today is I hear a lot of the time people asking me, how did I start my journey? How did I start healing, right? Give me the exact roadmap, give me the exact blueprint. And don't get me wrong, I have a roadmap that I take every single one of my Fit Without Obsession clients with, but giving one straightforward answer, I'm gonna be so real, there isn't one, right? There is no magic pill to healing. There is no perfect fix or one change in your routine you need to make for you to heal. And I feel like that's why healing gets avoided. That's why healing does feel impossible at times. That's why it does, make you go back into your old habits or feel alone in it, because it has to be imperfect, right? Which means not everyone's journey is going to look the same. Again, I have a clear structure I take every single one of my one-on-one clients through, but I will tell you the way that they get from point A, coming in, feeling horrible around food, stuck with food noise, overthinking it, feeling overly perfectionist, controlling it, all of those things, to then finally feeling healed in their relationship with food, in a body they love, in a body that feels strong and fit and actually naturally fit without obsession and just quiet around food. The way they get from point A to point B is all completely different, right? Because everyone's personal journey with food, it can't be the same, right? We've grown up with different beliefs. We've grown up in different households. We've grown up with different friends in different areas, with different cultures. So again, I'm not saying that I'm not going to tell you how to heal. I definitely can tell you that and point you in the direction, but there is not going to be one direct answer. And I think that is something that we have to accept when we are entering into our healing journey, that there is going to be an air of unknown. I think so much of the time when we control food and we think about healing, we don't want to give up that control without knowing that clear plan, without seeing exactly all of the specific things that we have to do, because we want certainty. But truthfully, you have to go into healing your relationship with food and your body and yourself with a bit of uncertainty, right? I do feel like it's going to take some trial and error. You do have to actually look at the habits that you're doing and push them little by little each day. So, for example, if you are someone that struggles with over-exercising, I don't think that the solution is to just give up exercise tomorrow. I think that that's the worst thing that you could do. That's going to send you backwards. But also you continuing to show up and do the exact same routine week after week, of course, we're not going to get past that, right? So there does have to be an air of discomfort. There does have to be many challenges. There does have to be moments where you go, okay, I'm going to challenge myself to take a rest day today. Even though I worked the other 6 days out of the week, that's all I can do. I can't pull back anymore, but today it's going to be a true rest day. And the more that you do that, the more that you actually show your body and your mind, wait, this is actually safe. Because right now, the reason you don't want to heal is because your brain has somehow made it into this position that healing is unsafe. Healing means we lose control. Healing means we gain a bunch of weight. Healing means people won't like us. Healing means giving up. When actually it's the opposite. I will say once I healed, that's when I actually found my dream weight. That's actually when I attracted the right people in my life. That's actually when I felt the calmest in my life, right? So again, going back to my original point, there is no perfect quote unquote way to heal. But what I can tell you, and what I do want to dive into today, is what actually led me to start healing, right? maybe not like doing that quote unquote like perfect exercise, but like how did I actually start the journey? How did I actually know that it was time and actually start putting one foot in front of the other, right? And really, it wasn't a list of steps, right? It's more like moments or like decisions that I went through, right? Like for me, that was hitting a point where I was like, I literally can't keep living like this, right? Like there had to be that change in direction for me to make that decision. And again, not that I knew what living not like this looked like. I didn't know what that execution would look like, but I did make that decision, right? I made a promise to myself that I would no longer stay trapped in the same patterns, right? Like deciding something had to change, like, is what actually starts that journey for you. Like, even if you don't know how to do it. So, taking that messy, imperfect action is the first step to healing. And that's going to look different for everyone. That's going to look like maybe a food choice, like maybe a routine choice, maybe an exercise choice, right? But I do want to also emphasize, like, in this space that I was in, like, I did not feel ready at all. I felt the opposite already. I didn't have full confidence at all. And I just started doing things differently, right? Like I made some mistakes. There's things that I did when I first started my journey that like I was like, why did I do that? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, I would go through periods of binging, honestly, like when I started healing, because I kind of was trying to get out of that restrictive place. And then I almost overcompensated by like having quote unquote bad foods where like now like I like love ice cream and cake, but I don't feel like I have to force myself to eat it every single day to be healed. Like I actually recognize that healing means I can make that choice for myself. So what started really looked like for me is not, again, it wasn't having a full plan. It wasn't doing everything perfectly. It wasn't fixing everything at once. Starting actually looks like eating like a meal that you normally would skip. Maybe not compensating after eating. Going to the gym without punishing yourself. Like actually sitting and questioning a thought instead of automatically believing it. Guess what? If you are stuck with your relationship with food in your body, your thoughts are not the truth. And a lot of them are toxic and you need to clear your head of them. That's one of my favorite things I do with clients is literally help them make those mindset shifts because honestly, you could be doing all the habits in the world, but if you're not actually thinking differently, showing up differently, then it really truly doesn't matter. Right? But it really is when you start healing like small uncomfortable shifts and you have to repeat them is the key here too. I don't mean like do these things one time and then all of a sudden you're going to feel better and everything is going to be healed and amazing. Like, no, you actually have to be consistent. And it's the same thing when you think of a general weight loss journey. Like, who's going to be more successful? Is it going to be the person that goes to the gym for like a month and then looks in the mirror and says, why didn't I lose the 20 pounds? Like, this sucks. I'm not doing this anymore. Or is it the person that maybe sees, okay, like I lost a pound this month. Maybe that's not what I wanted to, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep showing up. Guess what? That's the person that gets a year down the road and is 20 pounds lighter instead of 20 pounds heavier, right? It's the same thing with your healing journey. You might not make the progress that you want in a day or a week or a month, but that doesn't mean to give up because if you want to be somewhere different in a year from now, 2 years from now, like you have to put in that work, right? So the one thing that I really want to, again, touch on here is that it's not about finding the perfect path. It's really about being willing to walk a path that feels uncomfortable. And you're not going to figure it out all at once at first. Like you're going to figure it out while you're doing it. So there is no way that you could sit here and like draft out the perfect plan for healing and then like a year later finally execute it. There's no way. You're not actually going to figure out what works for you until you take that step forward, until you start doing the things. That's why, like, again, I have a roadmap for my clients, but it's going to be adjusted as they're going through my program. It's going to include different things depending on how their mindset's doing. We might even actually jump ahead, like if they're able to work through a lot of really hard things very quickly. Right? But I want you to have a place to obviously start with this. Like, I know I've been dwelling on the fact that there's no perfect plan, but there is still a way to like get going, right? To start taking this action. So instead of asking what the perfect plan is, like, I get that question a lot and I don't mind the question, but I just want you to almost in a sense reframe that for yourself, right? And actually start asking like, what is the one thing I know I need to do that I've been avoiding? Oh, that is so good. Yeah, what is the one thing that you need to do that you've been avoiding? Because that's your answer. And it's like, you're literally sitting there and you're like, Gina, like, why the fuck did you just say that to me? Like that, I don't want that answer. That's a bad answer. Like I've literally had calls with people where I say that and they're like, that is not the right thing you're supposed to say to me right now. And I'm like, actually, you need to, you need to be put, well, you need to have a mirror up right now, right? Like you know probably where you are avoiding and why you haven't healed. Now, granted, that's why having a coach is freaking incredible and phenomenal, because then you don't have to go through that scary thing alone, that thing you've been avoiding alone, but you 100% can do it yourself. I have full faith that everyone listening to this episode can heal by themselves, right? But it does take committing to doing that thing you're avoiding. And that could be stopping restriction, like in general, all places. You can't like have to do any of these things, right? Maybe this means like you're never going to start over ever again on a Monday. And I know some of you guys are gasping. You're like, that sounds terrifying. Mondays are my start every day, Gina. Well, guess what? That's a problem, right? And like maybe also this could mean like not punishing yourself or overcompensating after eating. Like anytime you binge, anytime you eat more than you wanted to, you don't restrict harder. You don't go to the gym after. You just exist, right? Like you already know your thing. So sit here and ask yourself, like, what is that thing you've been avoiding? And I want to normalize the feeling of doing it wrong, right? Like, it's going to feel messy. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It will feel like you're messing up. 100% it's going to feel like you're messing up. And that is not actually failure. Like, that's part of the process. That's part of what we need to do to get there. So again, it's not that you need more information. You've literally probably saved 5 million Instagram posts at this point, like telling you exactly how to heal your relationship with food. I mean, I talk about it all the time, right? Like you don't need even more of that. You don't need that perfect plan. You do need to start showing up differently. Like you need to take action, right? You cannot expect something to change while we like overthink it. Oh, you're already overthinking food too. So like that's just, we don't need to keep overthinking things, right? Like we need to actually move, right? So healing for me did not start because I had this like perfect roadmap. It was actually quite the opposite. I had no fucking clue what I was doing, but it did start when I stopped waiting for the right one, right? You're not stuck because healing is confusing. You're stuck because you're trying to do it perfectly right now. And I want you to know, like, I am here to support, right? Again, I do have roadmaps that I take my clients through, and they're all individualized to you. So if you are feeling like, okay, like, I want to do this, Gina, but I genuinely don't know if I can push myself to do this. Like, I don't want to spend another year stuck here. I don't want to continue to overthink these things. Like, I want to be able to heal. I want to be able to take that scary step forward and do that uncomfortable action, but, like, I still need that guidance. Like, that is exactly what my one-on-one coaching program, Fit Without Obsession, is for. And you can definitely, like, shoot me a DM on Instagram at @thefitbean_. Like, we could even just chat about it, right? Like, there's literally no pressure. Like, I want you to feel supported, right? Like, even us having a conversation, if I 100% think you can do it by yourself, like, I'm going to help push you to do that. I want you to heal and succeed. That is my whole sole purpose by having this podcast, by having my business, like, by honestly being in this world, right? Like, that's what I want to help instill in others so that you can heal, right? So again, just know you're not alone in feeling like this is hard and not knowing where to step, but you do need to be willing to be uncomfortable to actually get to that place at the end of the road where you want to be. Thank you so much for being here and listening to the Fit Without Obsession podcast. If this episode made you feel seen, understood, or a little less alone, make sure you're following so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you feel called to share, you can tag me on Instagram at @thefitbean_. I love connecting with you there. If you're ready for deeper support, whether that's calming food obsession, rebuilding trust with your body, or getting stronger without slipping back into old patterns, you'll find ways to work with me linked in the show notes. And remember, you are not broken. You are not behind. And you don't need to earn your worth through control. You can want peace and strength. You can heal and build a body you feel at home in. I'm rooting for you always. Talk soon.